this video and all the videos that will come after it are about expanding consciousness and transcending the boundaries of your mind to find in you what is truly divine, and that is the memories of your spirit or your soul. And this is what this particular video is about. It's pretty much about spirituality, but all the other videos, I'm going to be doing about a video every week, but every video is going to be talking about some type of topic to expand consciousness on. So religion, politics, money, cultures, and science. Just a bunch of different topics that I think are things that are very important to me. And if you feel the same way, if it's important to you, then keep watching the videos. But if this stuff seems boring or something that you're not interested in, then teach his own. But it's pretty much, I like getting knowledge about these type of things, so I just thought maybe other people out there might feel the same way. So to go over each topic broadly that I'm going to be talking about, this time I'm going to be talking about spirits and souls. But to go over each topic, religion, for example, I believe through a bunch of different types of research on my own, and you can, go ahead and verify all these things that I'm going to say by just clicking the links I'm going to provide below, or just doing your own research on like Google, or just reading some books. This is a book that I recently gotten. I've been reading the book of Enoch. It's pretty much the forbidden book of the Bible that was taken out of the Bible because it was too controversial and too science fiction. Like, that's the part of the Bible that, people get the whole Lucifer fought God in heaven and came down to earth and all that stuff. So that's the part of the Bible that is not in the Bible because of how far-fetched it seems and how science fiction like it seems unrealistic. But that's the part that really describes angels. And like, one of the things that, the reason it was taken out is because when the angels were cast down to earth, they were fornicating with women, and the women had children that were like giants. And there's like proof that giants were on the earth. And there's a book in the Bible about Goliath fighting David, and pretty much is supposed to reflect that he was a child of an angel that came inside of a woman. So that's just one part. But pretty much all religions, I believe, are connected through culture, because as culture evolves, that's how the laws of a land evolve. And if a religion fits the laws of the land, then the country or the area that the people live in with that culture, if it fits with their beliefs and everybody accepts it, and it betters their way of life, as far as them not wanting to kill somebody because they believe that they'll get struck by lightning or something like that. If their beliefs better humanity as a whole in that area, as far as them evolving and learning to live with each other peacefully, then that's why I think religions have gotten to where they are now. And it's just through time and our own progression that we've clinged more and more to these religions. And I think they all have a basis of truth. I think they all have a basis of the one true creator, the one true source of everything, one true source of our existence. And I don't think of me personally, just through research, I don't think of that source as a guy with a beard sitting on a throne in a kingdom. You know, I think of it more as an energy source that created us, that has a consciousness and an intelligence to spawn us through an orgasmic kind of sexual big bang, in a way, a big gang bang, if you want to think about it, a big sexual energy that has a consciousness. Pretty much everything that we know now to be alive has some type of sex or some type of pollination happens. Even with the birds and the bees, the typical story you tell your kids, even the plants need pollination to grow, and a seed needs fertilization to grow. The soil fertilizes the seed. The soil is having sex with the seed, pretty much. But you know, that type of mindset on that. And I'm going to go more into religion, but that's just touching on one topic. Another topic is politics. Me, for example, just through looking into stuff, in America, Abraham Lincoln, he wanted to make government-issued money because of the war and how expensive it was. And he knew that if we kept borrowing from the British banks, then we would pretty much be owned by Britain pretty soon. And not only that, but we would be owned by banks. Our government essentially would owe so much money to banks. And we owe approximately $6 trillion now to the Federal Reserve Bank. And he wanted to avoid us that unpayable debt. It's like when you owe a debt to somebody, you're enslaved to them. You're always on their leash. So he didn't want us to be a country that's enslaved by banks. So he made the Lincoln Greenbacks, which was government issued money. And shortly after he did that, he was shot. And the policy went back into effect that the banks would create the currency and not the government. Kennedy did the same thing. He issued government-issued money because the same kind of mindset that Lincoln had. He didn't want us owing so much money to these banks, and he knew, you know, there's been speeches that he said that you know, he didn't want us to be owned by an elitist community that just wants to own everything, pretty much. So he made government money shortly after he was killed, and went back into effect that we would have, you know, Federal Reserve issued money, federal bonds. So, or Federal Reserve notes, to say it correctly. So that's just another topic, and I believe that both of these people were killed by these elite ruling. Another topic I'm going to go over is existence and how we all have evolved together, and through our evolution together, we all, like whether it's plants, insects, animals, we've all evolved to the point that we're at now together. And so, like how you see us, we're able to build buildings, and we're able to make cars and all these other type of stuff. I think that it's all things that have been evolving through time with our consciousness and our intellect. And to go back and touch on religion again, like how, Lucifer was sort of the bad guy, the devil, pretty much. But as far as consciousness goes, he was the first to expand our consciousness by telling Eve to, bite of the fruit. And that's when she expanded her consciousness. And ever since then, I think every time that there's a leap in our evolution and our intellect, it's because of that little touch from the light bringer, Lucifer, the one who enlightens us through time. So I believe there's truth in religion. To touch on that again, I think there's some truth in religion, but I just have my own beliefs about after researching different type of stuff. So anyway, animals. So for example, ants building a big, like, sand castles pretty much that they live in, and the tunnels are so intricate, and they have their eggs in one tunnel, their food stored in another tunnel, the queen is in this big tunnel. It's like pretty much an empire, and different colonies the ants have, and it's just pretty much like, if you ever seen A Bug's Life or one of those Disney movies, Ants, where everything is so intricate. It's kind of that's exactly how it is with ants. If you've seen like a ant tunnel from the side view in a museum, how extensively they create their fortress. I think that's just like how we have been here for a while. The ants have been here for a while, and they've been learning to adapt and evolve. So that's one of the insects that I think are really smart in doing, those type of things. How birds pick up a bunch of sticks to make a bird nest, or how bees make beehives, and how wasps make wasp hives, and how bees are able to make honey, and all these different types of things. Monkeys being able to decipher things we do more than other animals. It's like they're one of the smartest animals. And so I just think, that's just another topic I'm going to go over later. I don't want to go too much into it. But back on the topic of spirits and spirituality. Pretty much, I think this is something you can look up yourself. Every time I go over a topic, I'm going to put out these little things you can look up on YouTube or Google or books. But past life regression, there's a psychologist who used to do, well, I think he still does, hypnotherapy, and he did about 30 sessions, and he wasn't a believer in God or anything like that, or any type of, he didn't believe in spirituality or spirits or anything, or the spirit world or anything, but he, when you put somebody through hypnosis, just to explain a little bit, you put them under and you take them back to their childhood, whether they had something that affects them now, when they're affected by something in their childhood that could affect them when they're like now 26. So whether they're sexually awkward or they have a type of fear of sex or something, maybe because they were sexually abused when they were 3 and just don't remember it, because we don't start remembering things until we're like around 4. So that's something that they do. But this guy accidentally took somebody into a past life, and this is kind of how I stumbled on the belief in reincarnation. And the Hindu religion believes in reincarnation, and they pretty much believe that every time you reincarnate, you have a lesson to learn in the next life. I pretty much went too long on this video, talking too much, but I'm gonna make another video to continue on the spirituality. But to close for now, just try to keep expanding your mind. You should look up past life regression, and I'm going to continue on the subject and how it's all connected to a religious belief. And if their religion wanted some type of proof of their belief in reincarnation, past life regression would be pretty much it, because they take you back into your past life. Okay, peace. Keep expanding the boundaries of your mind.